Tell me, whoa, whoa, whoa. Tell me, whoa, whoa. Please join me in welcoming two remarkable women who have been instrumental in shaping the academic DNA of the VIBGYOR Group. Ms. Ann Dias, Director, Academics, Training and Quality Assurance. Welcome, Ms. Ann.
Thank you.
And we have with us Ms. Aanchal Vasandani, Senior Vice President, Content and Early Childhood Education Expert. Welcome, Ms. Aanchal.
Thank you.
Ms. Ann and Ms. Aanchal, you've been with the VIBGYOR Group for a long time, right? So when we go back to those many years of your time that you came into VIBGYOR, tell us something about how were those formative years where you joined. So let me start with Anne, and then I'll hear Aanchal. What do you remember when you first moved into VIBGYOR and started taking up this profession of a teacher?
In terms of years, I can say working with VIBGYOR has been 2 decades now. It still feels like yesterday because with VIBGYOR, one thing what I learned that every day there is something new for me to learn.
Okay.
And that's what I felt the first day also when I entered this school. Thanks to the management, we are, given a lot of opportunities to try to do innovative things which will benefit the students.
Great, Anne. Thank you for that input. Very interesting. Now I'll move to Aanchal. Aanchal, anything that you remember 2 decades again in this group in these times of short stints at multiple corporations or organizations or companies? We are talking about people who've survived or maybe very passionately taken up those 2 decades. And so, Anne, so about Anne, we heard. Aanchal, what's it that you would like to share?
At least the first few days when I entered the classroom, I expected children to be sitting down nicely, 4-year-olds. But what I saw was some children hiding under the desk, some hiding behind the curtains.
Chaos.
Chaos. But that chaos was fun.
Okay.
So these are memories which will always remain in my mind. And I cherish those memories.
Okay.
And the other thing I cherish is the team spirit that we had amongst teachers. So every day staying back till late, making teaching aids, putting up charts, planning for the lessons. So that camaraderie, what we had, I think is something that, again, I will never forget.
You've been teachers. That's how all of us started, as educators, as teachers. And now you've evolved in your role as people who are leading curriculum, content development, training, mentoring, a lot of skill sets that one requires. How has your role evolved over the years in terms of moving out from a classroom to now doing something that affects hundreds and thousands of children and families across the country? So either of you can go. Aanchal.
So I think our roles have really evolved.
Mm.
I think we all have started as teachers. Then we went on to becoming coordinators, handling multiple classrooms and sections. And then eventually we got into content development. So I think content, basically our experience as teachers is today helping us to create content for the children.
Right.
So we want to see the love for learning alive till they grow up. It has to
Right.
be lifelong learning for them. So I think all this experience that we've had has really helped us building a futuristic curriculum framework, which will help our VIBGYORites to grow up to be very good leaders.
Right. So taking that cue from Aanchal and what's the big difference? Because we keep hearing about teacher led to a student led classroom. Teachers no more a sage on the stage and stuff like that,
Right.
right? So that's because you've been there, you've taught, and then you've evolved into what you're saying. What's the big difference between both of
I
these?
think the whole approach. So, as a teacher, when I taught and we didn't have any curriculum team there, I would focus on the learning objectives.
Okay, let me stop you there. And let me tell people who are listening to this conversation, what does a curriculum team do? For many people, they do not understand or they may not understand, but the curriculum team is at the core of what gets taught or what gets done in the classroom, especially when it comes to learning. And we are talking about two people who have looked at what is available, the best in terms of teaching and learning across the world. And so it takes a lot of effort, which many might not know, with a team of people who they rally behind and work with to bring into the fore what gets done in the classroom, including the number of pages on your notebooks, to the kind of pencils you need to have, to kind of the assessments that gets done in the classroom. It's all thought and developed by Ann Aanchal for the VIBGYOR Group. Carry on, an interesting conversation on this.
Yes. So I was talking about when I was a teacher, when I said teacher led, the focus was on learning objectives. That these are the objectives I have to cover in my class when I'm teaching. But now, as a content person, I would say I'm looking at learning outcomes.
Right.
And that's the major difference, because when I look at outcomes, I'm looking at what my students will learn from it.
So interesting. She spoke about learning objectives versus learning outcomes. What is it that hasn't changed in you? Maybe one thing that still hasn't changed in you, even as you evolved from a classroom teacher to the senior vice president in terms of content, what you do for the pre-primary section. Aanchal?
So I think we would have the same answer if I know Anne. I think it's a love for teaching and love for children.
Okay. And what about you?
To continue then with Aanchal, I would always consider myself as a learner. So when I was a teacher, I was a learner. Now with whatever roles and portfolio I handle, I'm still a learner.
It is said that the pre-primary, the early childhood years, when a child is growing up, the formative years are also the most impressionable years, right? That's when it's scientifically also proof that whatever child learns at that point of time is retained for a very long time, maybe all throughout his or her life. What's the curriculum philosophy that guides our pre-primary education at the VIBGYOR Group?
So as you said, science research proves that maximum brain development, in fact, 85 to 90% of the brain development happens in the early years. That is between 0 to 6. So these years are very crucial. And this is a window period or window of opportunity that early childhood teachers have, where they can ensure that they have all the kinds of activities, stimulating activities to help their brain development.
Right.
That is why early childhood educators are called brain builders.
Wow.
So that is one thing that I think we should tell the audience.
Okay.
And
So for everyone who's listening, the early years is the time, and it's also called the brain building time. So please do not postpone education for your children thinking that it's too early to learn anything. And we're getting to hear that from an expert. Carry on.
So the philosophy that drives our curriculum is basically we keep the child at the center. So it has to be child-centric, student-led, as Anne had mentioned, and also play-based. In fact, our NEP and NCF both stress upon the curriculum being play-based at this stage, the early years.
I had one question to ask you, Aanchal. Even before NEP was to, gain the kind of importance it's gained now, I think at VIBGYOR,
it was
learning
always
is always play-based, right?
Yes,
So-
always.
Right. So we were ahead of our times in terms of calling it a play-based experiential learning process or a curriculum. Please carry on.
So we take the best approaches and pedagogies, and all approaches, whether it's Maria Montessori, Reggio, they all talk about play-based approach. So basically, along with it being play-based, we also ensure that our curriculum is inquiry-based, because that is what will keep our learners curious for lifetime.
That's right.
And that will help them then to further their knowledge
So some
when
parents,
they go out of early childhood.
So if parents think that it's play-based, so bas khelte rehte hain, it's a waste of time, why should I put my child in school? Some of them have those apprehensions.
So it
as
is,
well.
no.
So
I wish to add here.
Okay.
So it is through play that a child learns. That
Okay.
is why the emphasis is on play-based. So when a child is playing, so the child is developing his social emotional skills. He's playing with other children around. Then he's learning to share, maybe waiting for his or her turn. So that's where social emotional development happens. The child is expressing through role play sometimes. So language development happens. They wait to listen to others. So they're listening, speaking skills, everything. So
Which
it's,
is so important, which many of us lack.
yes,
We don't listen much.
yeah.
We
We just like to speak.
And Ismail, we like to speak. Okay.
We like to interrupt.
Yeah.
And at the same time, physical development happens because they're using their fine motor, their large motor. So during play, all round development happens. So that is why play ensures holistic development of the children.
Wonderful. So, to bust that myth that play school is not all about play, it's learning while you play. So, for anyone who thinks that let me not put my child to a curriculum that's play based, we must understand the science and the rationale behind what it means to have play based curriculum. Very important input. What is a typical VIBGYOR classroom for somebody who doesn't know VIBGYOR or hasn't studied or hasn't been part of? What does a typical VIBGYOR classroom look like?
The classroom would look more of a buzzing day,
Fun.
learning, like she said, play-based method. I think my students, the way we have designed the curriculum, don't even understand probably that they are really learning something, because
Okay.
for them everything is fun, and this is not what I'm saying.
Learning hota hai na, or it's just fun?
Learning is a byproduct,
Okay.
I would say, because what is learning, Shim? If you define it, it is not something I can say that I have mugged up a definition of
Right.
light and
Definitely
written
not.
it.
Yeah.
But I need to know how I can apply it in my real life journey.
Aanchal, do you have any specific incident that you remember, a funny one that might have happened in the classroom or in the section that you handled while you were in school?
So there were many. So I've had this one child when I was a teacher used to every day come to me and tell me, Miss, it's my birthday today, daily.
Okay.
So that is one funny instance. Then there were a couple of kids who used to want to sit in my lap and only me to feed them
Wow.
during snack breaks. So I think
They-
these are some.
They felt comfortable with you, right?
Yeah.
So there must have been something in you that made a child to have that comfort space in you. So I think as teachers and as educators, it's very important that we know our students, that we know our children who come to us, because they come to us with a lot of hopes and aspirations. And having been in the field of education for so many years with all of you, we understand that not everything is hunky dory back at homes or back with their friends. So that safe space sometimes is a school. And I think we are talking from experience that for many children, that safe space sometimes is not a family, is not friends, is not relatives, but is a school. How are we involved, and if I can ask you, in ensuring that our curriculum also provides that kind of support to a child, because there are different kinds of learners, right? So a child may be a great listener, may not be very open about expressing himself or herself, but at the same time you could have children who express themselves and are more than happy to come out and share. So since we are talking about a balance of both, how are we in the digital space in terms of teaching, learning, the curriculum that we've developed?
So, firstly, I would say we always take pride that VIBGYOR has a holistic curriculum. So, what I mean by holistic, so we have a program what we call as Life Lab.
Okay.
Now, what are the components of Life Lab? We have something called one of the module is public speaking.
Okay.
The second one is social emotional development. Third is life skills, which is there. Fourth is financial literacy, which we do across an academic year, across the grades. So our training for teachers and students, we want them to get a voice, too. So these are our lab plans. So when your question was related to digital, so for me it is not digital in isolation, because we look at digital studies as a part of the holistic. So the new academic year, we have introduced robotics as a part of ICT curriculum, because we cannot shy away from the fact that today our children are born in the digital age. So they need that exposure. What we are going to define is what kind of exposure to which grade they require, and how that will help them to build up the skills they require in the near future for themselves.
Got it. I think so. It's while you're also talking about digital space, as you mentioned before while you were speaking, we're also looking at digital safety, which becomes very, very important for our children who are possibly using all kinds of gadgets that are available to them at a very young age. Anchal, there's a lot spoken about STEAM education. Earlier it was STEM and STEAM.
Not streamer.
Yeah. Now stream. Okay, great. So, how is it that at VIBGYOR we bring in these concepts at a very preliminary stage when the children move into the pre-primary classrooms in terms of STEAM education?
So it is STEAM or STREAM. So all this is actually integrated into the curriculum.
Okay,
So
very
right,
soon it'll be scream after you do your stream. Okay.
so right from when a child is just playing with blocks,
Hmm.
so and then trying to see what makes his tower stand versus not letting it fall. So that's where technology would come in.
Mhm.
Or when a child is mixing colors and creating a new color, so that's where art and science comes in.
Mm.
Or when we have simple experiments which they do, like it is more of activity based or self learning.
Mm.
I said our curriculum is driven towards inquiry.
Right.
So we allow them to experiment on their own. So when we're giving them something like an orange with the peel and without the peel to see what sinks and what floats.
Mm.
So such simple ways in which the curriculum integrates STEAM or STREAM
Mm.
is that what makes it very special.
Now let's come to an interesting part of our conversation, which is a rapid fire round. Okay, so please be truthful, and you have no time to think, because if you think there is time to think, then you're not telling us the right answer. Let me start. So here we go, straight off. Questions to both of you: teaching or content development?
Teaching.
Oh, both of them. Okay, and you're in the wrong place. You both are developing content. Okay,
Because we have the heart of a
Teaching our
teacher.
teams.
And we have the heart of a teacher, so we can make better content.
we can argue till the sheeps come home. Okay, circle time or story time?
So I would say
Circle
both.
time.
Because we have story time and circle time.
All right.
Yes. So I would say circle time.
Teacher training date or audit?
Teacher training.
Teacher training.
Okay.
Audit people.
So you're
get scared
safe,
of us.
everybody. Both of them are actually good teachers. They don't like to audit, but they are forced to audit at times. Okay.
Even it's good because that helps us only to improve ourselves. I look
Sure.
at audit positively because it it makes
Very
us
right.
reflect on our work.
So corrections on what
Good
we can
point.
do, what we can do, stuff like that.
Yes,
Very quickly to the next one. Your favorite school event, since both of you have been teachers and coordinators, is it the annual concert day or the sports day?
Annual concert.
Sports day or two.
Inclined to sports, okay. Best stress buster: coffee, music, travel, or chocolates?
Oh, travel.
Travel. Yes.
Oh.
Hands down.
Yes.
Do you get to travel? Do your bosses give you
Yes.
break?
Our bosses are very sweet.
Politically right.
They know.
Let's get going. What's your hidden talent that your team is unaware of or they do not know?
They don't know.
They both are thinking, so they have no talent. Let me get going. All right. So
We
the
are
next
open
question.
books.
Yes, exactly.
There's nothing hidden.
All right. Great. So no talents, but open book and nothing hidden. Transparency to the
Yes, that's what
extremes.
is our strength.
Okay, let's get going. The favorite, we have 40 campuses across the country, right? The VIBGYOR Group of Schools. What's your favorite campus?
All of them, but yes, since Goregaon was our first school
Home
and
ground.
we started from there, I would say Goregaon for me.
Vadodara, because I like the campus. It always, my childhood dream was to study in a hostel. So when I first saw that, it was like something I would wish to go to.
No, didn't know that you always had a dream to study in a hostel, which I
I
did.
did.
So anyway, let's get going. Which teacher trait do you secretly admire in others?
I think in all teachers, there's one thing is resilience. I think in spite of having a bad day at home, irrespective of how her health is, I think the way she comes back to class daily, I think this is a trait I admire in all teachers.
And
I think I would say in same lines of becoming very good actors because
Strong
teachers
word.
are very good actors.
actors. So in spite of the pain that they may carry, in spite of the problems that they may have, gone through maybe at home or through friends or family or anybody, when they come and are in front of the students, they're all smiles as though nothing has happened, and the child or maybe even the team might not even know what has gone through. Great, wonderful. One word to describe VIBGYOR.
Home.
Home. What about you, Anne?
I would say holistic education.
Okay,
Those two words.
right. No problem. So that's a well-rounded education that comes into our students, right? So they become learners who are kind of ready, as our mission states for a dynamically changing world. Well, we bring a closure or an end to this conversations that we will continue to have as it evolves in future. But I thank both of you, and Aanchal, for being a part of this conversation where we were able to get into a little bit of who you are as people and also the kind of work that you do. So, everyone listening to us, this is the VIBGYOR podcast series, Tell Me More.
Tell me more. Tell me, tell